Next, we look forward for the presence of Dr. Sejwa, Senior Lecturer, Ministry of Education, Colombia, Sri Lanka, on a platform and brighten us with your information on topic Kids Innovation during COVID homestay. Over to you, ma'am.
Let me good evening to you all. And I think I have changed my topic and I informed it to the um, committee. And let me talk about the fostering innovation and entrepreneurship in education to achieve sustainable development goals. As you were introducing me, I belong to the Ministry of Education, and having worked with Ministry of Education more than 26 years, I would like to share my experience with you. And here I am showing you some of my publications that I have been doing so far uh, based on various topics. It's the recent one. It's during the COVID homestay, the innovations of students irrespective of gender, and again online learning in the outbreak of COVID homestay. Then again e-learning, some of China ethnic minority education and their crises. And these are some of the papers I did with my Chinese professor when I was doing my PhD. Well, there are some comparative studies. Well, of course, this was in 2017. I was a key member of the Belt and Road Organization Research Committee, and with the committee, as a committee member, I was able to publish this paper, Triple Jump to the World of Work. Well, there are some others. If I go on reading everything here, it will get more time, but you can, if there are any doubts or any clarification for any information, you can uh, question me. Right. Let me start with the topic which align with the today's conference, fostering innovation and entrepreneurship in school education to achieve sustainable development goals. Right. To achieve sustainable development goal, one should have a right mindset. From the other speakers, I could get to know that they were talking about a lot of theories. So here I am taking you through a journey which is practical enough to achieve the sustainable development goals, viewing the life in different angles surrounding in the world. Well, what are the global goals for sustainable development? As many of the speakers have already talked about, in 2015, the United Nations Organization agreed with 17 global goals for becoming a better world in 2030, with eradicating poverty, fighting for inequity, and addressing the urgency of climatic change. Well, it's really essential to understand what is this entrepreneurship and how can we achieve entrepreneurship through innovation, through the sustainability. As many of the speakers have already discussed certain points and the theories, I would skip as time is running behind. Well, how can we apply this entrepreneurship in the field of education is my target today, right? How is entrepreneurship anchored in the field of education? How may the learning processes be understood and handled according to an entrepreneurial approach? Can innovation and entrepreneurship be taught? As Hasina was describing, how to teach sustainability. in an English classroom? It's an old age debate. The answer is both yes and no. Education plays an essential role in shaping attitudes, skills, and culture from the primary levels up. We need to address from the grassroots level. As we all aware that industry drivers innovation and learning, and it helps to create the new technological knowledge which is vital for job creation, sustainable livelihood, and equitable growth. And it is the key of eradicating poverty because we are targeting for an economic based society, economically powerful society through education as educationists. With this, I would like to come to my objectives. It's just to share the experience and our thoughts, feelings as an intellectuals here in the forum. And I would like to bring out a new concept which I have grabbed from Thailand that we call it sufficiency economy philosophy, SEP, and how we are going to incorporate SCP into our curriculum to reach sustainable development goals. Thus, I do believe that we need to share experience, share our thoughts as experienced practitioners on how to devise sustainability actions and activities, especially in schools. School children are the lifeblood of the nation. So, our existing knowledge of how entrepreneurial activities may contribute to the SDG remains, sometimes it may be limited. There can be experts who are veteran in this field. So, with this mindset, as I started with my talk, to achieve the sustainable development goal, we need to have a set mind. To have a set mind or mindset, sufficiency for sustainability is essential. Knowledge plus virtues in making decision and moderation, reasonableness, and we need to be prudent in making decisions, especially in management, for economy, perhaps for society, and for environment or culture. The outcomes of these
Sorry to
livings
interrupt
should
you,
reflect
ma'am.
balanced progress.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hello?
Sorry to interrupt you. Actually, your slide is not working. It's ticked on the only on the first page.
Huh?
Your
Is it not
presentation.
moving?
Yes, ma'am. It's not moving.
Now?
Not now. Also.
Wait for a second. Shall I share it once again?
Yes, ma'am.
What's wrong with it? Mm, I don't know. I was here somewhere. I had nice. My goodness. I was so. Now, how do you see it? Do you see my presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
I was talking about my publications. Then these are some of my publications, as I told you, and this is the topic that I am going to target for today. And I was talking about the right mindset to achieve goals. I talked about this, whether how to achieve entrepreneurship in the field of education, and it's an old debate still. Let us see. So this is the point where I was talking currently, and it is the sufficiency for sustainability. In achieving this, we need the knowledge plus the virtues. It's more important in making decisions as well as. Moderation, reasonableness, prudent. We need to be prudent enough, especially in making decisions related to management, for economy, for society, for environment and culture. Well, people highly talk about innovation and it has become a buzzword today. Well, since all the speakers talk about, let me take you a tour to Thailand. It's a remote agricultural low income village in Thailand close to Cambodia and where they practice this sustainable economy philosophy for achieving sustainable development goals. So they have different projects, clean and green project, where the children get first-hand authentic experience in their learning. They are they are thinking out of the box. They are in their natural environment, getting first-hand experience. It's really interesting to notice that kids are mostly an hour because they usually the kids stay 8 to 9 hours in the school, 1 hour totally in the field in the learning center. You will see that they have forest and hub is another project that is to protect the environment, which is one of the sustainable development goals. And they understand, they name the trees and they know the value of trees, then the recycling, everything they learn under one topic. It's an umbrella term. Well, the recycling from the childhood, the kids do recycling and they are doing it as their own projects. Through they from the projects they learn new things, they apply new concepts, and they learn through errors. And also they have bioextract project. Through these projects, especially the mushroom cultivation is one of the projects where they become entrepreneurs in the school level. Small kids from the primary level to secondary level and tertiary levels, they have different projects. From the mushroom projects, they know how they how well they cultivate them, the temperature they need, the fertilizer or whatever the ingredients or anything for cultivation. Then they the products, then they know how to store them well, how they prepare these products to the market. They know everything from the childhood and they are student entrepreneurs in the school. And vegetable and edible fence. It's an interesting project where the students work in the field, they do grind things, they are the ones who they do like farmers. They work in the field. You see, they do the cooking in the what they grow in the field. They use for their lunch because school provides the lunch itself. So it's really interesting to learn how the kids do learning. It's learning by doing, right? And how they become entrepreneurs from the small level, especially from the chicken raising. They know what food should be given, what medicine should be given, and the life cycle of a chicken and the chicken products, then the preservation kind of things from the childhood with the experience that they gain from the learning centers with the teacher. They learn everything under a curriculum and the teacher has a lesson plan for the practical session too. They are evaluated based on their performance. Fish raising. Look at the end, they become entrepreneurs. They choose their livelihood from the beginning. Fish raising, they learn the morphological structures of the tilapia, then the breeding system, the life cycle, then how to do the harvesting, sent to the market. Everything under the sun is learned through learning by doing. How authentic experience are gained at the small age is really interesting. Well, another project that they do is charcoal. They produce the charcoal in the learning center and they sell this charcoal to the community. They earn. This money earned is spent for their lunch. They learn themselves and they provide. They are not employees at the latter part of their age. They become entrepreneurs by giving some jobs to the people around and bioproduct processing. Look here, they cooperatively work together to make the project successful. They enjoy their learning experience. Well, children do learn from the kindergarten. They start the first project in recycling the things. So, what do they do? Why do they do? This is SCP, SCP, Sufficiency Economy Theory. They become entrepreneurs at last. So, as educators, we need to be strategic in promoting project-based learning. In is teaching strategy where students learn by actively engaging real world and personally meaningful projects. You, I do hope that you were able to see that all these projects were meaningful projects. Also, they learn through inquiries. Inquiry learning is a student-centered approach. As the previous speakers, they were talking about highly about the student-centered approach to achieve sustainable development, especially in the 21st century. We need our classrooms to be learner-centered. So this sustainable economy policy, it leads to a sustainability. So through this SCP concept, Thailand is trying to reach the SDG goals for achieving the 2030 National Development Goals, SDG goals. Right? Then there are the pillars. There are goals. The goals were set to be based on the three pillars. And also balanced environment, namely, these are the three pillars: economy, society, and environment. So, how do we do this? The pedagogical methods we need to promote to achieve them. Open learning, where the children do the learning outcomes, they achieve the learning outcomes at the end of the project finally. Active learning, they do cooperatively, they work together, they share experiences, they communicate, and learning experience beyond the classroom. Yes, they are just not sitting in the classroom, they are out of the classroom getting the authentic learning experiences. So the learning atmosphere is different and you need to promote and foster collaboration and teamwork, encouraging for them to have new ideas, to develop their creativity, and also to develop emotional intelligence, tolerance, flexibility. Like those are the qualities that we expect from a 21st century student. And also their thinking strategies, perhaps critical thinking, logical thinking, and problem solving thinking should be developed. So from these thoughts, steering from these thoughts, what I gained from the course I have been following these days in Thailand, I would like to suggest you that we as Intellectuals, educationists, we need to practice what can be practiced actually in the society out of the classroom. Thank you so much for being patiently listening to me. You're very welcome. It's high time for you to raise questions if you have anything to be raised of clarification.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your knowledge with us. I request the educators, if they are having any question or any query, they can raise their hand or they can pop their message in the chat box. Ma'am, the session was really informative. Your information speaks about your experience, and it really means a lot to us. As the educators were messaging in the chat box that they came to learn about the new things. And really, if they are getting the new things, that means they are going to implement that things in their life. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us.
You all are welcome.
With this, I would like to thank all the speakers for enlightening us and attendees for making the conference successful. This was 2-day conference on fostering innovation and entrepreneurship in school education to achieve sustainable development goals. Yesterday and today, we had a brilliant, outstanding speakers. They shared their knowledge, personal experience, and learning points with us, and by which we all gained a lot, and it's going to help us in the future by implementing it in the real form. Next prayer, because of some technical issue, whether a problem, next speaker is not able to join us today. So with this, we are ending up a session. The feedback form will be mailed to all the educators on their email IDs within 1 to 2 hours, so they can fill the feedback form and they will receive the certificates. If you are having any query or any question, you are free to ask.